Mara, thank you. Now to the pandemic right here in Georgia. Yesterday, the state reported more than 2,900 new cases of COVID-19 and 22 additional deaths. So far, close to 9,000 Georgians have lost their lives to the pandemic. AstraZeneca admitting an error in its vaccine trial caused confusing results. Earlier this week, the drug maker announced that its vaccine is 70% effective on average. Now, AstraZeneca clarified that two different dosing regimens were used. One group received a half dose of the vaccine and then a full dose at least a month later, resulting in a 90% effectiveness on average, while another group received a full dose followed by another full dose at least a month later, resulting in only 62% effectiveness. AstraZeneca's executive vice president revealed the smaller dose, which was 90% effective, was the result of lab error. Oxford provided more clarity, saying the difference in the manufacturing process led to the error. And of course, we are tracking the coronavirus trends here in the metro and across the state. Head on over to 11alive.com/coronavirus for the latest numbers. There you'll also find updates on COVID vaccine trials as they develop.